Hello guys, I hope that you're all doing alright. We're going to be going over multiplying and dividing fractions. So we previously did adding and subtracting. The main thing we wanted to make sure that we did was to make the denominators the same. So once we made the denominators the same, we were able to add straight across. So with multiplying, it's going to be a lot easier. If you were able to change those denominators and add, then this should be a breeze to you guys. So the first thing we want to do is multiply the numerators, which is the top, straight across. So we got 3 times 5, and that gives us 15. The next thing we want to do is multiply the bottom, and that's 6 times 7, and that's 42. So all we're going to do is we're going to go multiply straight across and straight across. So we get 15 over 42. Now, can this be divided by 3? Or any number. I'm thinking 3, so we can divide 15 by 3. Let's see if we can divide 42 by 3. 42, and this goes 3 right here. Looks like we can. 4. So this number can be reduced down. If we divided both sides by 3, it would be 5 over 14. This would be it for the first one. So all we're doing is just multiplying straight across. So let's try that again. So we got 1 over 9 times 1/2. So if we multiply straight across, 1 times 1 is 1, and 9 times 2 is 18. We can't simplify this anymore, so that's pretty much all we can do. So this would be the answer for the second one. So if you're really good at multiplication, then you're going to love this one. So division, here's when things change up a little. So instead of multiplying straight across, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip this sign first. So we're going to flip that like that, and we're going to flip that like that. So our problem becomes 8 and 13 times 3 over 2. Now is when we multiply. So flip the sign. It's called, what we call it is a reciprocal, so it's the opposite. So you flip it. So instead of 2/3, it's going to be 3 over 2. And once we multiply that, we get 24 over 13 times 2, that's 26. And this can be reduced if we bring it down. We divide both by 2, we get 12 over 13. Let's see, 24 by 2, and you divide 26 by 2, you get 12 over 13. So let's try that out one more time. Remember, reciprocal, flip it, and then multiply straight across. Let me give you the answer there. So this becomes 4 over 15 times 5 over 1. So if you guys are finding this really easy, one cool thing you can do is you can go ahead and reduce these numbers up here. This number can reduce to 1 if you divide it by 5, and if you divide this by 5, that becomes 3. And then from there, you can multiply straight across. And let me do that. We go straight across on this. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. And that would be our answer for that one. But let's just say we didn't know how to reduce that. So we had 4 over 15 times 5 over 1. Well, that would be 20 over 15, and then that reduces. If you could divide both sides by 5, this would be 4 over 3. And 4 over 3 is the same thing as 1 and 1/3, because 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 makes 4. So we gotta rewrite that number just like that. Number 5. So number 5 is the same exact thing. We're going to flip the sign and we're going to work straight across. So flip the sign, find the reciprocal, and work straight across. So we get 6/21 times 15/9. So let's look at this first. Before we go ahead and get started, these are really big numbers. It's going to be hard for me to solve that in my head. I have to actually write that down. But one thing you can do is you can see if any of these numbers can be reduced. I see a 6 and I see a 9. To me, this can be reduced by 3. So we divide this by 3 and we divide that by 3. This actually becomes 2. And that actually becomes 3. So these numbers are able to divide. And that makes it a lot easier. So we can go ahead and multiply that. Or we can go ahead and still reduce that down. 15 can be divided by 3. And that's 5. And 21 can be divided by 3, and that's 7. So reduce everything down, and that becomes 2/7 times 5/3. Once we do that, we get 10/21. Go straight across, and we get 10/21. Can this be reduced? Unfortunately, it cannot. That would be our answer for that one. Because if you multiply by 3, you can't do the 10, and if you do 2, you cannot divide 21 by 2. So right here, what we're doing is we're going ahead and reducing it down. We're bringing it down. We have 6 and we have 21. You can divide both of them by 3 and simplify it. So we want to simplify first, and we get these numbers, and then rewrite our whole equation and then multiply straight across. We're flipping the sign right here. So once we do that, this would be our answer for that one.